In depth with a man well versed on such matters. He is retired U.S. Army Major General Paul Vallely. Paul is also the chairman of Stand Up America. He Skypes in this morning from Big Sky Country out in Montana. General, we want to get to the homegrown terror threat, but before we get there, let's return to Ebola. You and I lamented the fact that our military has been placed into West Africa, but a positive sign could be what Nigeria has done in effectively containing the disease by quickly isolating cases and identifying possible contacts. I know you have misgivings about our military being there in the first place, but should those be some of the standing orders when introducing our military people into those roles in those Ebola-ravaged West African nations?
Well, I think, JD, it's going to be a real challenge for our military over there that are introduced into that area. If you look at the Nigerians, they know the area, they understand it, they can control their armed forces and police, they can put under control what they need to do. But again, I'm very much against the up to 4,000 that we have over there now. The fact that they will be exposed, they're not all wearing the required hazmat outfits that are needed. They are going to be exposed. So I have great concern, again, about the misuse of our armed forces there.
General, let's return here to the homeland and homegrown terror attacks. We've heard reports that our military could be singled out, military families in particular. What should we be doing to protect against the type of attacks we've seen in Canada and last week in New York City?
Well, it takes good intelligence, obviously, and we're not going to be able to overcome all these nutcases that get radicalized and get recruited through a lot of the mosque in the United States from the Salafist. Obviously, ISIS and Al Qaeda are on the move worldwide, particularly in the West and against the United States. And also, a lot of people don't know, even in Western China, the Chinese have had to take operational action against the Uyghurs there. So we have a global phenomenon going on. That's why others besides myself has requested that this government act as if we are at war and just not talk about the war on terror, and close down the borders as best we can, lock down who comes into this country, who doesn't. And local intelligence, police forces are going to be very important in trying to find out who's doing what in what community, especially on the internet. This is a lot of the propaganda that's conducted by these very sophisticated Al Qaeda and ISIS operators. They know how to use the internet very well and social media.
And Paul, you are more than passingly familiar with PSYOPs, psychological operations. Why is ISIS having such effect with their PSYOPs using the internet and we apparently are not? How do we get our message out?
Well, we're not even allowed to say it. They changed it in the Pentagon that we used to have strategic psychological operations of different categories, but then they changed it to perception management because they didn't want to think that we were psyoping our own people. But psyops is against the enemy, not our own American people. So there again, political correctness, and this has been going on for some 15 years. But certainly they know how to propagandize just like Hitler did and use the media. They're very good at it. And a lot of the sophistication emanates from Iran, by the way. They're very good at it. They know how to influence the West, the press, and they do a good job of getting it out. And so you can't be politically correct in a war. You must deal with the realities that are there.
And we will continue to deal with those realities, Paul. So much to talk about on the world stage. We're going to ask you to stick around. When we come back on the other side of the break, we'll discuss what's going on in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan with retired Major General Paul Vallely here on America's Forum.